Hello everyone and welcome back to Formula 1 2017 Career Mode. Today we have the Hungarian Grand Prix. We're coming off a solid finish in Britain. As you can see, we have a upgrade in progress which is due to be complete after today, and it'll be due in Belgium. So we're coming off a 7th place finish. I mean, I was kind of happy with that because I usually struggle at that track a lot. So I'll take it, but Hungary is another track I struggle at a lot. I'll be happy with a top 10. Anything better than 10th, I'll be very happy with for this race. So as we come to our qualifying lap, this is towards the end of our lap. Ricardo currently is on the pole, but I do not expect that to last at this point. Our goal is to qualify 10th or better. We go wide there on the out of the left-hander, which is going to slow our lap time down a bit, but we come out of the final corner and trigger the DRS as we come to the line. We go P7, which is better than what we need right now. And as you can see, we end up qualifying, I think it was 7th, our teammate Lance Stroll in P16 there. And yes, we do get 7th, and Vettel was able to put it on the pole there. So Ricardo lost 3 spots in pretty much the last minute there, unfortunately for him, but hopefully we can even just stay in this position or even better in the race, so we'll see how it goes.
With me to enjoy it all is Anthony Davidson, a man who made his Grand Prix debut here with Minardi back in 2002. So Ant, this is a bit of a special one for you, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I'd say so. I also stood in to commentate on Jensen's win in 2006, and as I was a test driver for Honda at the time, you can imagine that was quite an emotional Grand Prix. It's also a tough circuit on the drivers, this one too. Lots of long, slow corners that require a lot of patience from inside the car. Plus, it's a very downforce heavy circuit. I mean, it's all relative, of course, but if you're lacking a bit in downforce, or if you've got a bit of an imbalance in the setup, this is definitely one of the worst places to have to deal with that.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and Kimi Raikkonen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Ricciardo, Lewis Hamilton, and a Williams, Perez, Sainz, Ocon, and Daniel Kvyat, Hülkenberg, Palmer, Fernando Alonso, and Magnussen, Stroll, Verstappen, Romain Grosjean, and Stoffel van Dorn, Ericsson, and Pascal Wehrlein completes the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Alright, you see there, Max Verstappen has a grid penalty, so we will be starting now in 6th, 1 spot better than we qualified. So let's try to make the best of it. I like starting on the right side for this track. It's going to be a pretty clean race, no bad weather as we prepare for the start now. 5 red lights here in Hungary, and we are green for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Hamilton was starting way back in 5th. That's pretty surprising for him. But now we have Carlos Sainz looking to our inside right off the bat. I'm going to give him some room here. Just about got into the back of the Mercedes there of Hamilton, but Sainz is going to complete the pass on our right as I went wide out of turn 1. They're 3 wide behind us with 2 Force Indias there. And one's going to stick his nose up the inside. It looks like it's Perez, but we were able to hold him off there. As I go wide out of that little bend there, got really loose. He's going to look to the left-hand side of me. I'm trying not to shove him down off the track, but we are able to hold him off through there. Certainly not the best start of the season. We lost 1 spot off that, and I mean we were risking losing a few spots really. We cannot have that happen next time. A lot of understeer early on, I'm noticing in this car. The goal is to finish 8th or better, so we are 1 spot to the good right now, so anything better than 8th I'm happy with. Well, I mean, like I said, anything better than 10th, so even if I don't beat that target, but we get a top 10, I'm kind of happy. We should be able to run down Carlos Sainz. That shouldn't be a problem. He just was able to get a much better start than I did, unfortunately, as we actually are putting a gap between myself and Perez, who's behind us right now. Ricciardo running 5th there. Not the best start for him, seems like. Well, He is in a Red Bull, third best team, really, so kind of makes sense he's around there. Now, will Verstappen be able to work his way up through the field? That is the question, because he was starting in the back with the grid penalty as we make a move up the inside of Carlos Sainz now. This is one lap later as we make the pass, and he's going to fall back. I mean, he's probably going to get passed by the Force India as well, as that was on to lap 3. We are already putting a substantial gap between him and myself. It's already up to 7/10. So now the goal is to try and run down Daniel Ricciardo here for the 5th position. Obviously, next race will be the Belgian Grand Prix. I'm not looking forward to that one very much either. I have a really tough time, specifically in this game, running that track with the setup of this car. I've tried many setups, and it's just so much understeer, and it's just I'm really slow in the second sector. So it's going to be an interesting one. And then we got the Malaysian Grand Prix coming up eventually. I'm not looking forward to that one either. I'm usually pretty slow there, so. But we do have Singapore and Italy coming up. That'll be fun. But as we now have a caution here on the straightaway, let's see a replay of this. It was Daniel Kvyat. I believe it is a mechanical problem. Yes, it is definitely a mechanical problem. He pulls off to the left side of the track, and it must have been an engine. That's going to do it for his race, obviously, and that is going to bring out a safety car. So we have our first safety car of the day. The tires are in pretty good condition, so at this point I decided, well, there's no need to pit, so we're just going to stay out here. I don't know if anyone else will pit, but we'll have to wait and see. Now as we come to the green flag once again, no one decided to pit. See if we can get a run on Daniel Ricciardo down the straightaway. Definitely looks like we won't, as I had a bunch of understeer out of the last corner there. We are now in our pit window, I believe Jeff said there, so we can pit any time here. This is really another race similar to Britain, where I'm just kind of running my own race and just trying to get the best position possible instead of really caring about anyone around me. But we got a big run on Daniel Ricciardo. I'm not going to look up the inside or anything. That would be incredibly silly. As you hear it from Jeff, Vettel currently leads. I don't see his teammate Kimi Räikkönen anywhere unless he... Oh, yes, he did make a pit stop. I believe he pitted under the safety car. A little loose into that corner. We are really struggling with understeer at this point. I could make a possible adjustment to the wing just to maybe snug it up a little bit, but we're actually maintaining with Daniel Ricciardo right now. I was kind of expecting him to easily pull away, but even before the safety car came out, we were kind of closing that gap on him. As Vettel comes through to set the fastest lap of the race, we run a 1:23.9, and now we are coming to lap 11. I'm going to be pitting for the soft tires this lap. Many drivers have already made their pit stop. We got Bottas currently leading. He is actually entering pit road right now. So we're going to follow him onto pit road and get in to our pit box and get our soft tires. And I believe we have one more stop after that as well. Alright, here we go to put in on the softs. And we had to wait for one car, I believe, there, but we come out and we are currently in 12th. Or sorry, 14th. We're on lap 12. But we're going to cycle out 15th. We just hold on in front of Oken. One thing I noticed early on after this pit stop is if I would have maybe started on the soft tires and then went to the mediums on a pit stop, we could have probably made it to the end on one stop. So I was kind of regretting starting with the super softs and qualifying and whatnot. So it was certainly a lesson learned for next time out. But because there are going to be guys that can make it if they started on softs, they can just put on the mediums on their pit stop, and they should be able to make it to the end. So we'll have to do a bit of extra running down on some people. Looks like Oken might be hanging with us a little bit, but we should be able to pull away from him. He is on the faster tire, but now we come to lap 14, and we have a big battle between Sainz and Verstappen. It looks like Sainz locks up a little bit. We go to the right of him, we make a little contact, shove him off the track. That was my fault. Now we go into the left-hander, and Verstappen locks up. Oh, we just about got into him. We do get into his left rear just a little bit. It loosened him up, but we were able to get by him. And they are still battling it out. We're just going to let them do their thing and just get out of here. Man, did that really get interesting for a moment there. I'm surprised I didn't get any type of wing damage, to be honest. I mean, we had, who was it, Carlos Sainz lock up, and I kind of shoved him off track, and then Verstappen locked up, and I might have got into his left rear just a little bit, just enough to loosen him up, but it didn't do anything to the wing. Fortunately, as we have caught Marcus Ericsson, this is what I was talking about, drivers starting on the soft tires, such as Ericsson. Obviously, he's not going to be a factor in the Sauber, but as we try to pass him on the left-hand side, we will go up the inside into this left-hander. Should be able to clear him here. He's going to fight back, though. He should have to pit fairly soon, but we will clear him in the last corner, and obviously we're going to pull away from him with no problems at all. Alright, we come to a few laps later now. As you can see, we got a McLaren blowing up. I believe that is Fernando Alonso. I can't tell what the helmet is here, but that is unfortunate. Yes, it is Fernando Alonso. As we come to lap 18, this was on. We have cycled through to the 6th position right now. Ricardo is still the next guy ahead of us. Alright, so we should have to make one more pit stop relatively shortly, probably with somewhere around 9 or 10 laps to go in this race. And I'll be putting on the super sauce for that. But right now we're just trying to run down Ricardo, which is going to be very hard. He is probably a good 5 seconds ahead of me, even more. And he is on the super softs as well. But now we come to lap 25. We have 11 laps to go, but we're going to be coming to 10 when we make our pit stop here. As we pull onto pit road, we're going to be putting on this super soft tires. Does not look like we have anybody else on pit road with us, so we aren't going to have to worry about waiting for anyone. As the team throws on the super softs, we are off in under 3 seconds. And we are going to cycle out in about 7th. So we will come out just in front of Roman Grosjean here. And he is running on the medium tires, so he is, I believe, on a one-stop strategy. And we have just 10 laps to go, so we should be able to make it on these super softs. Perez running 6 on the soft tire. He is 8 seconds ahead. It's going to be kind of hard to run him down. Just running smooth laps right now. Really nothing happening at this point in the race. We're running all by ourselves. I mean, we close the gap on Perez a bit, but it's going to be very hard to run him down at this point. We're going to have to gain pretty much at least a second per lap. And I really don't see that happening, so we'll have to see if something happens up front, but otherwise I think we're going to probably finish in the 7th position. Alright, we come now to just 6 laps to go, still running 7th. We have closed the gap a little bit on Perez, but not a lot. just running smooth laps at this point. The tires are going to be fine. They're going to make it. I didn't really even need to save. I thought I was going to need to save them a little bit, but I didn't. And as you can see now, the gap is 5.1 seconds to Perez. We have put a 7.8 second gap between ourselves and Grosjean. Now, at this point of the race, Kimi Raikkonen does lead the Grand Prix. He has had Sebastian Vettel right on him, really the later stages of the race. But I doubt that Vettel is going to be able to get around him. It seems like Raikkonen should be able to hold him off, as we have now put the gap to under 5 seconds between us and Perez, and now Grosjean has a problem with the car. That's going to put a big gap between us, but let's see what in the world just happened to him. Oh, he lost a left rear tire. He's got a puncture there. That's not what you want. And obviously he's going to lose a lot of positions as we have come to the last lap now, the last corner. Kimi Raikkonen holding off his Ferrari teammate Sebastian Vettel as he comes to take the checkered flag in Hungary. And now he can celebrate with the team as he just narrowly edged out Sebastian Vettel as we come to the last lap, still running P7. We have not closed the gap on Sergio Perez as I get in the grass and I lose the car. I spin it out. That is not what I wanted to do as we're just trying to regroup it. Come on. Esteban Ocon is coming fast behind us, but I don't think he's going to get to me. I've gotten the car back going. All I had to do was run a decent lap. I mean, we weren't going to catch anyone. So, and I screwed up the corner, went wide and got in the grass, and I couldn't keep control of the car after that. But that was certainly a little scary moment there. But we're going to come through the last corners. The grass is no longer on the tires, so the car is handling fine again, thankfully. As we come into the last corner now. Alrighty, we're going to bring it home in P7. One spot better than the target position. So that I'm happy with that. I really am. I usually struggle here really hard, but Spa next is going to be kind of similar. I feel like I'm going to struggle, but maybe the performance today gives me confidence that we can, pull off another pretty strong performance at Spa. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes.
Great effort there from Ferrari to take the victory today. So, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
And as we can see, it's time for the podium. And as the drivers make their way out, there's a familiar red suit making its way to the top step. Fantastic win for Ferrari.
Alright, so let's see the finishing order here. We started 6th, finished 7th, so we lost one spot, but I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. We beat our target position, that's all I'm really caring about.
Who would you go for?
Well, Pascal Wehrlein was, for me, head and shoulders above anyone
And
else
obviously,
today.
Hamilton's the last guy in the podium there. So let's check the points. We are 85 behind, Hamilton's 77 behind. He, like I said, he really needs to make something happen now if he wants to have a chance at the championship, as Vettel does lead the championship right now. Our teammate Lance Stroll just doing terrible. And in the constructors, we are sitting 5th, 226 out. So and we got a lot of work to do on that point, but we got 659 resource points now, plus another 23 due to the first driver bonus now. But we're going to easily beat Perez in the rivalry, as you can see. I mean, all we have to do is really complete a qualifying event. And the rep went up a little bit for some teams. I would really like to get it up for Ferrari. It's like a dream to drive for Ferrari either next season or the season after. Probably won't be next season. I think we'll be staying probably with Williams next season. If we get an offer, obviously. But, yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. We finished 7th in the last 2 races. Both tracks I struggle at, so I'm happy with that. But that'll do it for this episode of F1 2017 Career Mode. Thank you for watching, everyone. I'll see you guys next time in Spa. So thank you for watching. Have a good day.